Of course, my immediate response was to list all the reasons that I could not take him out of school. Alex persisted. I took my son to Berlin. As the conference began with 800 people in the room, with translation earsets dispersed, Alex told the group that a young man of 10 years old was joining the conference and asked him to come up on stage. With a huge smile, my son hesitantly walked up in his new suit with his sneakers. Alex had the entire audience sing happy birthday to him in multiple languages. We still talk about that trip and the cities visited. Put your family first. Always protect those last moments of your life. Minimize the regrets. Periodically, I would meet someone who would introduce themselves by saying, "Hey, I was in that audience and sang happy birthday." Corporate bonding, imagine that. On another occasion, my son's Little League team got into the championship. Playoffs happen at the last minute. If there had been Vegas odds at the beginning of this season, this team was not headed to a championship. Therefore, I accepted an invitation to speak in Cambridge, England, and travel time did not permit me to attend both events. This time, I called the organizer and explained that I had to deal with an OLTE, O-L-T-E, a once-in-a-lifetime event in my son's life. I could hear the frustration in the organizer's voice. He was gracious in that British sort of way, and then paused and said he admired my priorities. I sent a senior member of my team. We paid a rush premium to have 500 baseball caps embroidered with our logo. The presentation started with an apology to the audience as the baseball caps were handed out. Our executive was so enthused to be on stage that the presentation was exceptional. I had 500 people in England wearing my logo on their head as I sat watching a Little League baseball game in California. The picture of the team won the game, and the picture of our team hanging on the wall in our family room says so much to me. I can assure you, when the doctor tells you that you might die in the next few minutes, that a forgotten presentation will not be a memory, but missing the baseball game of an 11-year-old might haunt you. So my advice is only to work in environments that permit you to place your families and your well-being ahead of some transient assignment. Of course, work hard, invest in your career and in your company, but know most of your customers will respect you and will respect your company values. Just be honest. If somebody does not want to do business with you because of the family values, then eliminate them from your personal space. Find another client, find another employer. Yes, time is honey to a bee. Therefore, extricate yourself from bad situations. If we tolerate work or life situations, we clutter our available time. If we tolerate bad environments, we do not leave space for good things to arrive. Again, work hard and sacrifice, invest in your career and your company, but triage inappropriate relationships as soon as possible. As the CEO writing your story, something quite important to me is, why do thoughts and attitudes matter? So I ask you, what do the following have in common? Your gown, the chair that you are sitting on, and the fish on the pole in the courtyard outside. Think for a moment. First, each item was created by humans, but here is the important part. Each item started out as a thought. It is the thought that is the relevant part here. Everything that ever comes into existence by human beings starts with a thought. The fork you use, the shoes you wear, the computer you use, everything starts as a thought. So as the CEO of your life, it is your job to control those thoughts. And I ask you, what is an entrepreneur but someone who turns thoughts into value? Know that your thoughts will manifest. Control your thoughts and maintain that great attitude. In addition to controlling thoughts, I find that persistent determination and discipline are essential. I had a few trials on my journey that this lesson taught me. On December 6, 1977, I was on a roadshow for an IPO. As many of you will learn, those weeks of raising money for a public company are a blur. Multiple cities in a day, multiple meetings in each city, breakfast, lunch, and dinner meetings, a different hotel each night. Well, this day was memorable for me. I finished the presentation and got back in the limo. The investment banker said, and I will never forget this, "Your deal is dead. We're going back to New York." I was shocked. I responded, "What are you talking about? That pension fund just bought." He said, "Well, while you were selling, Alan Greenspan just gave a speech. He used the phrase irrational exuberance. The stock market tanked. We're going back to New York." The next night, on a Saturday night, I met with the CEO of Bear Stearns in his home on Park Avenue. By the end of the meeting, he said, "Let's meet Monday morning with my team. I'm willing to stand behind you, get back on the road. If my team agrees, we will buy what doesn't sell." I had great support from his staff. 8 days later, we IPO'd. Persistence. A few years later, I found myself in a horrible situation. My two largest board members, executives of large financial institutions, went to war. Unrelated to my company, but war in their sector. Although I had made some strategic errors along the way, they were our distribution channel, and our stock dropped from near $10 to 75 cents. We were running out of money. We had just days of payroll left. I made a choice to let every employee who wanted to know what was going on become an insider for SEC purposes. Total transparency all the way down to the receptionist. Not one employee left. But I prepared bankruptcy filings, which I used to negotiate with lenders, found a new investor who wanted our new technologies, and one day we had $17,000 in the bank, not enough payroll to last a week. A day later, we had $17 million in the bank. The stock then ran from 75 cents to $26. Yes, I have some scars on my back. I would not trade them. They are what permitted me to define my character. Persistence, determination, and attitude matter.